From set down to set up, Eala's epic battle against Tereza Valencová. Watch now. It was a cloudy afternoon in Osaka, Japan. The air was thick with anticipation, the type that makes the hairs on your arm stand when you know something incredible is about to unfold. The WTA 250 Osaka Open had brought together some of the most promising young talents in women's tennis, and among them stood the pride of the Philippines, Eala, ready to fight her way through another chapter of her growing legend. Across the net stood Tereza Valencová, the young Czech prodigy whose rise through the junior circuit had caught the attention of tennis pundits around the world. Tall, composed, and armed with a laser-sharp backhand, Valencová represented everything that could trouble a player like Eala, someone who thrives on rhythm, timing, and heart. When Alex stepped on the court that afternoon, her focus was absolute. She had spent the morning visualizing each point, each rally, each shot, but nothing could have prepared her for what was to come, a battle of wills that would test her spirit as much as her skill. A rough start, the first set shock. The opening set was quite simply brutal. Valencová came out firing from the very first point, hitting deep into the corners and attacking Eala's forehand relentlessly. Every rally felt like a sprint, and every game was a struggle for survival. Eala's usual confidence, her ability to dictate play with smart angles and explosive baseline shots, was met by an impenetrable wall of Czech precision. In just 28 minutes, the first set was gone, 6-1 to Valencová. The crowd fell silent, unsure whether this was just a slow start or the beginning of an upset. Eala walked to her bench, her towel pressed against her face. Her coach gave her a small nod from the stands, not a disappointment, but a belief. She looked down at her racket, took a deep breath, and closed her eyes. Inside her mind, she replayed the points, not the losses, but the moments of potential. The flicked cross-court forehand that forced an error. The perfect backhand pass that zipped past Valencová's racket. The crowd hadn't seen her best yet, and neither had Valencová. Regaining fire. When Eala stepped up to serve at the start of the second set, everything about her changed. Her stance, her eyes, her energy. The frustration had burned away, leaving behind something sharper. Resolve. The first serve cracked down the middle at 177 kilometers per hour, an ace that drew cheers from the crowd. The next point, she followed with a gutsy forehand winner. The shift in momentum was instant and electric. Valencová, who had glided to the first set, suddenly looked a bit rattled. Eala started using her signature variety, mixing topspin with drop shots, pushing Valencová side to side until she forced a mistake. Her footwork became a blur, her focus unbreakable. At 3-2, the match was back on even footing. At 4-3, Eala broke serve after a 22-shot rally that brought the audience to its feet. Then, serving for the set at 5-4, Alex faced down a crucial break point. The Czech phenom attacked the net, but Eala's instincts took over. She sprinted forward, stretched out wide, and flicked a forehand passing shot that curled past Valencová. Clean winner. The crowd erupted. Eala clenched her fist and let out a roar. Come on! Moments later, she sealed the second set 6-4, raising her arms to the sky. From set down to set up, the Filipina fighter had turned the match around. Momentum shifts and mental warfare. As the final set began, both players knew this was more than a battle of skills. It was about who could endure. Eala's comeback had reignited her fire, but Valencová was not one to crumble. She had come through tough matches herself, including a 3-hour thriller the week before. Each game became a mini-war. Valencová's forehand thundered down the lines, but Eala countered with slice and spin, forcing awkward positioning. Points stretched long, with both players trading power and patience. The Osaka crowd, initially polite and quiet, now roared after every rally. They were witnessing something special, two young stars showing the future of women's tennis. At 2-2, a 10-minute game saw Eala save 3 break points with ice-cold composure. She served deep, followed with a looping cross-court backhand, and then finished points with a deft drop shot that left Valencová stranded. It was tactical poetry. By 4-3, Eala began to take command. Her confidence grew with every forehand winner, every defensive masterpiece. She was reading Valencová's serves, predicting her shot placement, moving before the ball had even crossed the net. The turning point. At 5-4, with Eala serving the match, the air was thick with suspense. The crowd stood, phones ready to capture history. The first point, an ace down the tee. The second, a long rally ending with Eala's backhand clipping the sideline. The third, a double fault, nerves creeping in. The fourth, a blistering forehand from Valencová that landed just inside the line. 30-30. Eala took a deep breath. She thought about everything that had brought her here. The early morning practices in humid Manila, the long flights to tournaments, the pressure of carrying a nation's hopes. And then she smiled, because this was where she belonged. The next point, she unleashed a daring inside-out forehand winner. Match point. On the final rally, Valencová went for broke, a huge backhand down the line. But Eala chased it, lunged, and sent a looping topspin reply just over the net. Valencová raced forward, stretched, and missed. Game, set, and match. Alex Eala. The roar of redemption. Eala dropped to her knees, eyes closed, as the stadium erupted. She had done it. From a 6-1 first set loss to a 6-4, 6-4 comeback. Her fighting spirit, once again, had carried her through. In the post-match interview, she was humble yet radiant. Tereza played amazing today, she said. The first set was tough, but I reminded myself why I'm here, to fight, to grow, and to enjoy the game I love. This one means more than just advancing. It means never giving up. Valencová, gracious in defeat. The journey ahead. After Osaka, Eala's name began circulating more seriously among tennis analysts. They praised her composure, her tactical intelligence, and above all, her ability to thrive under pressure. Her coach summed it up best in an interview later that week. Alex isn't just playing matches. She's writing stories. Every comeback, every point. It's a chapter in her book of perseverance. As she packed her bags for her next tournament, Eala reflected on how far she'd come. From a young girl hitting balls under the Manila sun to a global athlete making headlines on the WTA stage, she had carried her country's colors with pride. And she knew this was only the beginning. Epilogue, the spirit of fighter. Sports are filled with numbers, rankings, and statistics. But what truly captures the heart of a fan isn't the scoreline. It's the story behind it. And Alex Eala's story that day in Osaka was one of grit, courage, and redemption. From set down to set up, she showed the world that champions aren't defined by how they start, but by how they respond when everything seems lost. As the lights dimmed over the Osaka arena and fans began to leave, one thing was clear. Alex Eala had just written another unforgettable chapter in her rising legend, a story of heart, hope, and the beautiful chaos of the fight. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.